Hello, my name is Chris, and I am from the Portland area.
Hi, I'm Emily Gritzmacher. I'm of Portland.
My name's Jenna Albert. I'm from Corvallis.
I'm Sean Halle from Portland.
We will be talking, our goal is to have mandatory civic education, and we believe that this should include experiential learning, community engagement, and classroom learning. We think of experiential learning as trips to and tours of local government, visits from and or to elected officials and government leaders. Community engagement would be direct volunteerism in the community. So establishing partnerships, having a relationship with government and the community, and then being able to get involved with what's going on. Classroom learning is just what it's like now, but also teaching students to really not just learn facts, but learn how to think and interpret. So our action steps are: 1, building partnerships with local and state government agencies and relationships with officials, because this will help students become more involved in the local agenda over time. Part of this is in the hope that youth will have more input in local affairs. We would also like to establish a statewide curriculum committee. This committee will define guidelines and perform assessments of current civic education and make amendments where it's necessary. So we don't need to completely redo everything. We can build on what we have and make changes where they fit.
So the statewide civic curriculum committee would be composed of representatives from different sectors, so government officials, both city, county, and state, as well as business leaders, perhaps, and also school officials, so either district or actually local, and perhaps even students to get their unique, since they're having to go through it, and have all that so they can interact. The assessments would be periodic, so that's our third action step, would basically be implementing the recommendations and also having periodic reassessments, so that some of the critiques with the current system is that the policies are really old and aren't flexible. So the civic curriculum that we would have some mandatory components, but would also have some that were flexible that could be adjusted for local conditions if, for example, a local school district couldn't do some of the field trips or some of the involvement, so they could substitute something else, but yet the students would still get a very good education.
Okay, so here's the thing. Government is an absolute necessity. Our society is run by it, every society is run by it, and if we don't understand it, how can we thrive in a society that is completely built on the building blocks of politics? We have an opportunity to give people the education to learn how our president is elected, what information they need to know. How can we elect a president to take care of our country if we don't know what a president's job is? We don't know what the governor does. I didn't know what you did 3 years ago. I had no idea. Governor sits in a chair in a big house. That's it. And without people knowing this, they can't elect you well. They can't decide, this guy has the attributes for the job. This guy knows what needs to be done. This is what we need. We need an education that teaches people how to get involved and how to decide who goes in what political position. The volunteer work aspect, the being involved in your community, is also incredibly important, because people live and thrive off these politics, but if the politics fail, you always need to be able to create your own groups. You always need to be able to fit in with the new government, with the new society. However it works, there will always be changes. And if we can figure out how to fit into a volunteer program, You can figure out how to start your own. You can figure out how to thrive in an environment that's complete anarchy. You can still survive if you understand volunteer operations.
To conclude, mostly what we'd like to see are active, informed citizens who know what this state, this country is about. Thank you.
Activate the lead.